So we back part 2. Let's get it. Part 2 to this story. I'm trying to remember where I left off because it's just so much crazy, hectic things, man. Like, this don't make no sense. You would think I was making this up, bro. I promise you I'm not making none of this up. So I was at the part where they put me to sleep and I woke up. So I woke up around 5 a.m. and just in pain, all type of pain. So I remember when I came to, I was still under that anesthesia or whatever that was. And I remember I kept talking and saying something, and I kept fading in and out. And so I kept hearing the machine do. So I'm thinking like, oh man, I'm dying. So I kept waking up, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm just like, you don't know if you about to start floating up or you about to see a white light, you feel me? So the machine, I don't know why I kept doing that. So I'm literally thinking I'm dying, you feel me? And so I would go to sleep and then it would do it again. And I would go to sleep and I would wake up and I was talking to the nurse, man. It was this black nurse. I was talking to her and I don't remember what I said, bro. I don't remember nothing that I said. I remember I was super sweet. I was nice to her. And she was like, you good? I said, don't worry. I said, it's okay, baby. I'm good. I remember calling her baby. I don't know why I said baby. And so I woke up again and she came back, she cared for me. And I was like, was I talking to you? She was like, yeah. And I said, bro, what'd I say? And she was like, look. I said, no, man. I said, I was probably over there flirting. I was probably being like all sweet and lovey-dovey and stuff. Cause I remember saying baby. I don't remember saying nothing else. And so I remember the next day, well, later that day, I was laying in bed. So somebody I was talking to at the time, they was calling me while I was on the operating table. Remember when I told you they kept sticking me with the needles? So they was calling me. And I told them, I hate to say it, but I didn't want them to freak out. So I had to say something else that happened. Because of course, you can't say nothing to them. So I can't text them back like, oh, I got shot. You know, I'll talk to you in a couple hours. So I was like, hey, you know, I'll call you back. Something going on right now. I said, I'll call you in a little bit. So I was like, all right, cool. So of course, it's at nighttime. They fell asleep. So I'm calling them around like 4 or 5 in the morning. And they're like, hey, man, where you at? They was like, I'm FaceTiming them. They're like, where you at? And I was like, I'm in the hospital. They're like, hospital? Why you in the hospital? And I was like, and like I said, I hate to say I had to make up a story. But I was like, because I didn't want them to freak out. And I was just like, I'm in here, you know, I was like, oh, my leg. I broke my leg. You feel me? And they was like, you broke your leg? How? My nigga, when I tell you, because I was trying to keep them from hearing what was going on. Doctor walked straight in. So the bullet is still inside. And they're like, bro, he starts giving all the details and telling them. And I was like, no, I didn't want them to hear that. I was like, no, I didn't want them to know. So, of course, they just, keep in mind, they just woke up because I called them. They're like, oh, my God, you got shot? Oh, my God. I said, hey, I'm okay. I'm fine. She's like, oh my gosh, are you okay, baby? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah, girl, I'm good. Like, I'm straight. She's like, where you get shot? Oh my gosh. And she starts asking all these questions and she's freaking out. And I said, this is exactly why. It's almost like something off a movie, like how they try not to say what's exactly going on. And somebody's like, oh, well, this happened. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, why you see me on the phone? So, dude keeps talking. He's giving the update about everything that happened about the surgery. So I'm sitting there talking to him. And I'm like, and they was like, oh my God, are you okay? And they asked me like 1,000 times. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm good. Like, I'm straight. I just had a surgery. You know what I'm saying? I'm sore or whatever. And so I remember watching the news. I think after I got off the phone with them, they was worried they couldn't go back to sleep. And I said, this is why I didn't want to tell nobody. So I remember watching the news while I'm laid up in the bed. They got my face. They like, new details at 6. Shooting that happens downtown. 6 people shot. Or 7, or however many people was. So, remember when I told you I was laying on the ground and that woman crawled up to me and she was like trying to calm me down or trying to talk to me? So I guess the people across the street that was throwing stuff, they had their phone out recording. They had my face blurred out. Keep in mind, my face blurred out. And I'm sitting all over here on the side while they checking me out. Like, they got me over here looking like a dead victim. I said, see, bro, this is why I said this. I said, don't let nothing happen to you publicly, man. Negro's gonna record it. It's gonna go all viral online and all that, man. Niggas make you look silly. So I was like, man, I look silly now. So I remember later that day, I think I went to sleep again. I woke up, you know, throat was sore from the tube they had to put in there. And I couldn't eat nothing, so I'm on a liquid diet. So somehow people found out. I don't know if, I don't think my brother told nobody, but I think somebody knew somebody and told them. So my phone blowing up. Everybody like, bruh, you know, my boy BJ, he hit me. He was like, bruh, you good, man? I heard what happened. I was like, and keep in mind, when his brother, man, when he found stuff out, everybody know. And I was like, everybody ended up finding out. I think it's because of dude. He said it was because of him. I think it's still because of dude. I think he told everybody, man. You feel me? So I'm like, man. So he hit me up and was checking on me. Some of my friends had found out and they knew. And I think they told people. I was like, I don't really care who you tell. Just don't tell mama. Don't tell mama. So all was good and done. All was said and good and done, bro. I thought I was going to get away with it. I was like, all right, I'm going to get out of this hospital, you know, within maybe a day and a half or so. And I wasn't going to tell her nothing. I wasn't going to tell her jack. So she ended up calling me later that day. And she was like, hey, son, how you doing? I'm like, I'm good, mama, I'm good. And so she was like, hey, I need you to come over and we got to go out to the land and we got to do some stuff at church. And I was like, mama, I don't think right now is going to be a good time to do that. She's like, why not? What you got going on? And I was like, I said, you know, you can't lie to mama. You can't make up a story with mama. But I was trying not to say it. And I was like, something going on, mama. She's like, what's going on with you? And I was like, I'm in the hospital, you know. She was like, hospital? She's like, hospital for what? And I was just like, and of course, I ain't going to tell her like, oh, mama, your son just got shot. Because, I mean, that's going to be like, even if it ain't serious, if you're anybody got shot, you're going to be like, what? So I told her, I was like, oh, mama, you know, she was like, son, tell me what's going on. And I was just like, let's just say my backside, mama. Let's just say something happened. Bro, when I tell you, she was like, did somebody sexually assault you? Did they molest you? And I just started busting out laughing because that's what she got from it. I was like, and keep in mind, the bullet went in the back, right? But they had to cut me open in the front. And I got scar right there. They had to cut me open in the front to try to retrieve it to see if it hit any arteries, any bones or anything like that. I did have a broken pelvis. I don't really know if that's from that. But long story short, they stapled it shut. The wound is still fresh. They just took the bandage off of it, so they gotta let it breathe. So it was hard to laugh. It was hard to cough. It was hard to really talk, sneeze, do anything that involves air, moving, any of that. Sitting up, moving, getting up out of bed, whatever. So I'm sitting here busting out laughing. I feel like my staples are about to pop out. And I'm just like, I was like, Bob, you can't make me laugh right now. And I said, no, mama. I said, it ain't I said, mama, it ain't got. I said, mama, if that ever happened, which we already know that ain't gonna happen. But I said, mama, if that ever happened, I wouldn't be in the hospital. I'd be in jail because I get everybody. So I said, we ain't gonna put myself in that scenario. So I was like, mama, no, that ain't what happened. And I was like, she was like, well, then what is it? She's like, is it a thyroid or whatever that is? And I was like, no. I said, I was like, just come to the hospital, mama. It was around COVID. You can only have one person come to the hospital. And so I was like, just come to the hospital, mama. I'll explain everything to you, which I was like, I really don't want to. I don't want to know what happened. But I'm like, just come, I'll tell you. So she comes. And she shows up and she's like, okay, what's going on? And I was like, yeah. I said, did you hear last night about what happened to those 6-7 people that got shot downtown? She's like, yeah, why? I was like, I was one of those people. What? And the look on her face, she was just like she kind of like did that, like was taken back. And I was like, but I'm good. I said, mama, I'm good. I was like, it wasn't in a serious bad spot. But whether it's in the right spot or a wrong spot, getting shot is getting shot. It don't matter where you get shot at. So, of course, her being a mother, it don't matter how old you are, she's still gonna be like, my baby. And I was like, mom, I'm good. Like, it ain't nothing serious. And so I explained to her what happened. And I told her what was going on. And I was like, you know, I'm good. You know, I'm just trying to get up out this hospital. And so, you know, because the last thing I wanted was for her to freak out and to worry. That's my job to worry. I said, if anything happened in my life, that's on me. And truth be told, I would rather it be me than any of my family. I'd rather it be me. Because I'm a soldier, man. Like, this is what daddy raised you to do, man. If anything happened, you lay down your life for them. You don't let them lay down their life for you. You protect them. You straight. You gonna be all right. You feel me? You a soldier. And that's what I learned from that. I was like, hey, I'm good. Don't worry. But people still gonna worry about you because they love you and they care about you. That's just always gonna be part of your life, man. Whether you strong or whether you not. And I learned, believe it or not, I learned some lessons in that. I learned a lot of lessons in that from that happening. You know what I'm saying? So, long story short, you know, she leaves the hospital, and I explained to the doctors when they came in to talk to me, and I was like, hey, you know, I was like, did y'all take the bullet out? Can I have it as a souvenir? Because I'm gonna turn it into a necklace or like a little pendant, you know, like something of mine that I can not really like brag with, but it's just like, oh, well, this didn't kill me, you know, like I'll wear it as like a badge of honor, you know what I'm saying? And they was like, no, man, like it's still inside you. Like they was like, the bullet's in like the perfect spot. And this is why I said, like, bro, I really don't realize it sometimes, bro. Like I really don't realize it sometimes, but it's just like, can you imagine getting shot in the perfect spot? By your spine, it missed your spine, it missed any major arteries. Like I said, I think the only thing that it hit was my pelvis, if that was even from that, because they said my pelvis was kind of shattered. But other than that, they was like, yeah, you pretty much got shot in the perfect spot. When do you ever hear something like it? Like, man, I tell you, man, that's why I said God good, boy. God is good, man. And I remember I was just like, I knew it was God. I was like, bro, I knew God was walking with me. Because when it happened, as much as I was laughing, as much as I was joking around and, you know what I'm saying, just being a soldier about it, being a thug about it, I called him. And like I said, he showed up when I started praying. When I started really asking him to be with me and to not let there be no harm done to me or my body or none of that. Because during that situation, man, I remember I was kneeled down. And while I was about to get under, I was about to turn around to see like where it was coming. Because when stuff is going on, when shooting is going on, sometimes you don't know what to do. So you turn around and you just kind of like, okay, let me see where it's coming from so I know which way to run. And I remember I was about to turn around. And had I did that, that could have, and I remember I'm crouched down now. And had I did that could have hit me in the head. It could have hit me in my heart. You know what I'm saying? My lungs. It could have possibly ended up hitting me over here. You know what I'm saying? It could have hit me in my pelvis area. Like we don't know where that bullet could have went. Because like I said, the way I was positioned, the trajectory I was shot at, had I been turning around, bro, that could have been a way different testimony, if even a testimony at all. And right there, then and there, that could have been it. I could have been sent to see my daddy sooner. And I had to think about that. And that was one of the lessons that I learned in the hospital. As much as I was like, I don't care, man, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a soldier, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be a thug about it. And I was like, it ain't just about you. You got people in your life that care about you, man. I was like, think about your mama. And that's what I started thinking about. Like, what if this went the other way, man? What if mama was visiting me in the morgue? What if they was rolling down the zip bag and showing her my body? Or your son's in critical condition. We don't know if he's gonna make it. And I said, you may not care about you, and you might not care whether you live or die because you rather be you than your peoples. But people still care about you. Think about who's gonna be hurt if you was taken off this earth. Your mama had to bury her husband. What if she got to bury her son too? Within a span of what? 3 years? Her heart wouldn't be able to take it. Think about your siblings that had to say they lost a brother. Think about the church. Think about your future life. All of that could have been on hold, could have been stopped because you wasn't thinking clearly. Was it a good idea to go to the protest? Yes. Was it a good idea to stand for what you believe in? Yes. But being in the midst of danger, not paying attention because you flashing on social media and you look, y'all, look, it's the phone, yeah, look what's going on, look what they doing. And something that I said I would never let happen to me, I let happen to me, and I got caught slipping. And I said, you are so blessed and lucky that it turned out a different way. Some people ain't so lucky. There was a dude a couple of days prior to that, right around the corner from there at that skate park. He got shot. And he wasn't so lucky. And you can see them put out the teddy bears and the memorial space for him. And I said, imagine that being you. Imagine your family having to come to that block every day. Every time they ride down that street, they traumatized, they crying. Your mama can't take care no more. Your peoples can't take care no more. And I remember I just prayed. And I said, Lord, thank you for not letting that be an even more dire situation than I thought that would have been. To this day, like I said, I don't know. You know, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And a lot of times when I was younger, because you know, anything's possible. And ever since I lost Pops, man, like, I'm just like, I don't ever want to go through that again, bro. I don't never want to experience that. And that's why I kind of had that mindset. I would rather it be me than my family or my peoples. So when it happened to me, I didn't really care. And after that situation, it taught me don't never be slow. Never have your back turned. Never be stupid. Don't be distracted by this phone, social media. That's how people get killed. That's how people die. When I came to again, I was in the room with another survivor, and he got shot along with me. Lil Lee, that was his name. And he got shot 3 times. I got shot once. He got shot in the shoulder, same place I did, and I think it was on the hip somewhere. So he was in even more pain than I was. And the thing about getting shot is, when you get shot, you're not really it feels more like a force. I got shot with a 45. So it feels, those are designed to have a radius. That's why I thought it was a baseball or a beanbag that hit me, because you feel that, like that impact, you feel me? If it was a 9mm or something like that, it probably would have went through. But this one is designed to make you flatline, like fall. You can get shot in your hand, you're gonna fall. Cause I'm like, that's that stopping pain, you feel me? So it's more like a shock, like, oh, like somebody tap you, like, oh, like I got shot. And it don't really hurt. It's just more like I got shot. But when you start to cool down, like I said, that's when my legs start getting stiff. When it starts to cool down, you feel that, boy, it's the pain. And so, like I said, I'm still in pain from what was going on. And I just remember talking to dude. Now, keep in mind, man, this dude wasn't as nice as me. This dude's a nigga. Like, he's a street nigga. You feel me? And so he was in there cussing the nurses out. And he, you know, they was trying to take blood, and this nigga rude. I'm just like, bro, he's a real one. You feel me? But when I talked to dude, man, he was cool, man. Super polite. Me and him got along like we knew each other for 3-4 years. You feel me? And we was just, cause we could relate. We was both in that situation together. And so we just started chopping it up. And I stayed an extra day, man. And I just was talking to dude. He was right across the room from me. And I was talking to dude, man, and just making conversation. And I made a brother that day. You feel me? And like I said, there was a lot of good that came from that. And truth be told, as crazy as it is, I'm glad that happened to me. I'm glad that somebody shot me to teach me about life, to teach me about this ain't what you think it is. It taught me a life lesson, because you used to not really going through nothing. You used to running off of mom and daddy grace, granted grace. But now you got to start running off of your own. You got to start praying and being real for yourself. You got to know God for yourself. And so I started to see more of that, man, in my life. That everything that I did, man, I was, smarter. I was wiser. I remember I came home from the hospital. Mama picked me up. And I came back to the house where I was living at my apartment. And I'm still in my scrubs. And I remember looking around and I was just like, I almost didn't come back and see this place. I almost didn't make it back home. The dog was sitting over here crazy and happy, and I got calm him down because I'm like, bro, I can't have you jumping on me right now. But I'm just like, I almost left my little buddy. For the next couple of days, the city was crazy. It was turned upside down. They started issuing curfews, I think, past like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, one of them. Which nobody did that anyways. We was out, they ain't did that to you. But it was getting bad. And I think that Saturday was the powder keg, sort of say. And I remember I was in too much pain. I was like, nah, man, I gotta get out there. Like, you gotta be a soldier. You gotta stand for something. And I was like, boy, go home. Go sit down, man. But as soon as I got home, later that night, there was something that happened on the corner. And I remember going out to see it. Now, this is when they called in the National Guard. So the National Guard is all out in all the areas. So I live close by downtown, and they came out there. And turns out on the corner, this dude shot this woman. Black community. Keep in mind, we in a Black Lives Matter epidemic. Keep in mind that. This is why I say, like, if we gonna be real about this topic, we gotta be real when it comes to us. Because I seen that and I said, how in the world are we over here marching for the police doing what they doing to us, and we sitting here doing it to each other? And this dude shot this woman, killed her. And you don't know the craziest thing about it? When I'm standing out there on the corner, the people out there hollering at the police. They know the person that did it. They know who did it, but they sitting out here hollering at them. While the woman that just got killed, her 2 or 3-year-old son is standing right there. And they was like, he has no idea that his mama dead. Let me say it again. He's got no idea that his mama's dead. And the boys are sitting there. And nobody said her name. Nobody cared. It was just another story in the wind. And guess what she got? A memorial right there. It barely even made news headlines. Nobody cared. But the city was in turmoil that Saturday. As soon as I went home, looking on Instagram, looking at the news, protesters all out there. City blew up. Like they locking people up by the boatloads, by the busloads, man. The National Guard shot and killed this dude named David McAtee. He was known as a good dude in the community. I think he was a chef or barbecue guy or whatever. And they killed him. So now that's another name we got to march for in the city. In the city. And I was like, Lord, what is going on? I said, bro, this Louisville was a wreck. That was one of the reasons I wanted to get out of there, man. I was like, bro, Louisville is a wreck. How can y'all live here? I'm like, bro, I don't want to live here. I living in this community where niggas is killing each other all day. You living here where the police is killing us. You gotta watch your back, man. Like, I tell you, that was the most paranoid year I had. Man, I had a whole nother story, man. Some little YGs, man. They walked up to us on the church block, man. On the church block. And pulled out guns on us. And neither one of us had our firearm on us that day. I was like, bro, this had to be God. Because we would have lined them little Negroes up. Them Negroes tried to G-check us on a church block that we've been at for 10 years at that time. And I was like, man, we could have did them little, man, shoot. That's a whole nother story time. I'm gonna get into it later. We ain't on that right now. Anyways, the city was crazy. And I remember days prior to that, I still went out. While I'm sore, in pain, they told me, hey man, you can't lift over 10 pounds. You shouldn't be out walking, shouldn't be out doing none of that. Give yourself time to heal. And I said, forget that. I got up, went to church. And I got up and went out and marched again. Because I stood for something. I said, this is going down in history. I want to be on the right side of history. And I said, when my kids asked, where was you when this happened? Daddy was out there marching. Daddy was out there standing with the community. Daddy was doing what he had to do. Because this is important. You want to teach your kids a lesson. Teach your kids something, man. Like, I don't want to just be known for staying in the house and just hucklebucking in church. Like, nah, man, this is the work of the church. We got to get out there and help, man. Like, you see, there was churches out there. There was pastors out there passing out waters, preaching to people, praying for folk. And you had Negroes like, oh man, ain't work. Nah, you shouldn't be out there, man. See, man, that ain't wise to see, man. They just, I was like, well, bro, what are you doing to go help? I said, what you doing to go help? What you doing? And that also showed me too that a lot of folk, man, they selfish. People didn't care about the cause. They didn't care about their race. They didn't care about their peoples. Negroes just wanted to jump around, get their blessing, play church antics, want to go party, want to go mess around. I think I'm gonna do a whole nother story time on that. I fought more black folk that year than I did anybody white, anybody Trump, anybody radical, any of these extremists. Let me say it again. I fought more of my people that year than any other of these groups that they was talking about, that hate us, that want to kill us and all that. I wasn't really bothered by many of them. I'm not saying they ain't out there. But I said, why can my people not stand with us on an issue that is about us? Crazy. That's a whole nother story I'll get into on a different topic. But long story short, I survived what happened. And it came with its side effects, man. Like I said, they say you get a little PTSD. Anybody that's been in a war zone, whether it's Chicago or if it's Afghanistan or your local community, or if you survived a mass shooting or any shooting for that matter, you get a little, the PTSD. I had dreams about the situation, man. You feel me? There was times that I heard a loud bang, and like I said, I lived in a community where that happened all the time. So sometimes it was normal, and then sometimes I'm going into go mode. Like you hear something pop. I'm about to throw over the table. Get down. Like, you know what I'm saying? You about to start taking off running. You going into soldier mode. And I was like, bro, that's really that's what come from living in a war zone. And I said, I'm thinking about the dudes that's over there blowing people up and shooting people across seas. And they come back with that mindset. And I'm just like, bro, they'll never have no peace, bro. They'll never have no joy in their life, man. They always in monster mode. So I dealt with that little bit of the PTSD and a little bit of the anxiety, looking over your shoulder, you feel me? That was just a common thing in Louisville anyways. You always have to do that because folk will rob you there. They'll rob you quick. It's almost happened several times. Another story time. But that just added fuel to the fire. And I was like, nah, man. So I prayed about it. And in them lessons, man, like I said, I believe God showed me that life is valuable. Life is precious, man. I didn't realize how much I had to live for until it was almost all gone. You ain't immortal. You are not invincible, man. You are not God. You are not Jesus, bro. You are not made out of metal. The scary thing knowing that any day you could go. Everybody think it'll never happen to them until it happens. You could literally go. You just be wiser with your life, man, and the way you move in the streets and reality, all of that, man. That's a factor. And I had to thank God so many times, bro. Like Jesus, thank you for watching over me, keeping me safe. It wasn't by my own doing that I survived that. It wasn't by my own doing that I'm alive today, man. It's because of you. And I believe he let me go through that to show me and teach me a lesson. Lesson well learned, because like I said, you won't find me back in them situations no more. You won't find me back in them spots where you ain't really supposed to be at. Like in the middle of the crowd, I did, at the front end. Like, don't do that. There's a lot to go on with the story, man. I hope y'all enjoyed my story time. That's how I got shot. And that's how I'm still here to this day. 4 years ago. And sometimes I'll wear a little chain with a dog tag that has the information on it about what happened, when it happened, a Bible verse on it. And the bullet's still inside me to this day. And I keep that as a reminder that, your lesson's always gonna stick with you, so you don't forget. When I look at the scars here, and I look at the scars here, for the rest of my life, I'm gonna see that. It ain't nothing just to brag about, but it's like, that was a lesson that came with this pain, man. Don't ever get too high-minded. Don't ever think you God, man. I'm glad to live to tell I got scars and tell a testimony. Some folk don't, man. It's too late for them. Cherish your family. Cherish your life. If you marry, cherish your marriage, your relationships, your children. And cherish God, man. Cherish every day you get to wake up. It's hard. It sucks, man. Life sucks. But I'm glad to be living it. I'm glad that I overcame what I went through. I ain't dead. I ain't in jail. I might not have everything that I want, but I got enough. Always strive to do better. And my lesson for the young folk and for anybody, for that matter, watch your six, bro. Don't be places where you shouldn't be. If it look like it's getting too hot, and if it's over 15, 20 people, you already know that's too much. Leave. Don't put yourself in the situation that I did, like many others, because some people don't get to walk away like I did. Be smart. Be wise. It's your boy, Darby Jr, man. Y'all stay prayed up. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Much love to you.